Hey, what's up to everybody out there? Welcome to another edition of the Roundtable Talk, and I'm your host, C Money. And in today's show, I want to talk about violence and crime in the USA, all across the country and all across the world. Email us roundtable00@yahoo.com. Don't forget to click and subscribe to our channel to check out this video, past videos, and future videos. And don't forget, you can also comment at the bottom of this page if you do have opinions on this episode and past episodes. Let's get jumping to it. Recently, there was a killing in New York where a guy went into a subway train, was on a subway train, threw a gas bomb, whatever you want to call it, and started shooting and killed a bunch of, not killed, but injured a bunch of people on a subway train. And this sparked the topic that I wanted to talk about: violence and crime in the USA. You know, and my question is with this, what makes these people do these things? What makes these people act like this? Is it a psychological thing, or is it just something that they feel they can get away with? And it always come back to the question why. I always have this theory of, if you can steal the candy out of one store, you can steal the candy out of other. Meaning, if you can get away with stealing a candy bar as a little kid or as a grown person and stick it in your pocket and get away with it, that first time you steal something and get away with it sticks to you as you could continue doing it more and more and more. So it now puts that in a perspective of, I can do this and I can do that more than I can do this and I can do that. So now it puts you in a big different perspective of what you can do. So I look at it as if, why do people do these certain crimes? Recently there was a thing here in South Florida where a woman killed her two kids, and it's like, you first of all, there are two kids. Whether they're 3 years old, 5 years old, 10 years old, 15 years old, it doesn't matter. You're now taking away life that was developing, because they wasn't fully developed. It doesn't matter how old you is. And then not only that, they're not going to be able to, create life. So you got to look at these things. Why do people do these things? If you kill your kids, why have kids in the first place when all you're going to do is kill them? This is life you're bringing into the world. This is life that you're bringing into somebody, that you're bringing in precious, and things. My theory about these criminals and these violence and stuff is that if you're doing stuff, just like, back in, I believe it was 2017, 2018, I believe, the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, the 17 killed that was in Parkland, Florida. What was going through his mind when he did it? What was going through his mind when he woke up that morning and said, I want to go kill people? A lot of these people get evaluated, and they're still waiting for his trial and stuff like that, because he's either gonna get the death penalty or life in prison. But my thing is about this: what do you think is going through the mind of these people? Do you think it's a psychological problem? Do you think it's them getting back at somebody, and things? Why do people do these crimes and do these things? Just like, and not only that, you're affecting innocent people's lives. A couple of years ago, maybe close to 10 plus years ago, I was robbed. Not necessarily at gunpoint, but they did have a gun. It was two guys. It was actually Memorial night, because it was on the Memorial weekend, and it was Memorial Day at night. I was on my way home from work, and this prompted me now to realize, do not carry excess stuff, because I had a backpack with a laptop in it, a small notebook laptop, and I had my rent money in it and stuff. I was only a couple of feet seconds away from my place of residency. And I turned off the main street and I was coming down the street. Two guys on a bike stopped me. One frisked me from the front, one frisked me from the back. You know, it was then my mind was setting on. I was just looking at the gun because they didn't point the gun at me, but they had the gun in their hands. So I wasn't really scared or frightened. I was just like, let this be over. Because sometimes, with me, I'm not really frightened at certain things. I may get up scared of stuff, but because I'm not fighting. And then they told me to lay down on the ground. So as I laid down on the ground, they rode on their bikes and rode on. Once they passed my building, I jumped up and I ran into my building and I ran home. And it was an experience as a person that was stuck to me, and it felt like, what happened to me. But that experience wasn't just my traumatizing experience. When I was a young teenager and I was in high school and I was going to night school at the time, because night school is where adults and teenagers go to get credits towards their high school diploma, or they go to night school to get an education and like a degree in something, like further their education. I was walking and I had my headphones on, and two guys was walking in the opposite direction. So I didn't pay no mind, but as I turned around, one guy struck me and I fell to the ground. Then his friends started helping him out, and I was like, why? You don't know me. There was no motive behind it, so why do it? And now I always, with that situation and with me being robbed a couple of years ago, that situation prompted me into, whenever somebody walked by me, I don't automatically look, but I do take, because I don't want people to think that, oh, you're a guy and you're staring at me. Why are you staring at me? Like, I don't want them to think, oh, you're gay, leave me alone. I'm not gay, but I'm just saying, I don't want the people implying, oh, you're a homo, you're gay, why are you looking at me and stuff. No, it just prompts me to, as you walk by, I need to make sure that you're not trying to attack me from behind, because that's an easy way of doing it, attacking from somebody from behind, not trying to say, oh, I'm trying to get at you, or I like men, or this and that, or whatever. I just don't want nobody excuse me, to attack me from behind, and then that was prompted me from when I got struck by two teenage boys when I was a young teenager, and then that was struck me when I got robbed. Because even though the robbers came from Miami as well, and then the police was like, oh, they could be connected to a robbery that happened in another neighborhood, close by or whatever. And I'm like, regardless of what it is or not. And then my mind, I felt like we're all not safe out here, which is true. Once you walk out your door, you're taking a chance on life. Whether you live in a house, an apartment, a condo, whatever you do, when you walk out that door, a car can come by and just hit you right off your porch. A person can come right here, can be running from the law. Because I always think this, and I always have theories. A person could be running from the law. Like I've seen several incidents where there'll be a person running from the police, and they'll try to go in, and I seen, they'll try to go to each house to see if there's a door unlocked. Then they'll go inside that house, and if there's somebody in that house, they'll either take them hostage or they'll try to hide, and it looks as if, why do people do these things? Why do you kill somebody? What's the motive? To me, if I have, this is how I'm gonna put it. If I have a grudge between somebody, and that grudge is very serious, I distance myself from the people. Everybody has enemies, Everybody's gonna have somebody, regardless if it's a coworker, a family member, or a distant friend. Everybody has an enemy or somebody who they eventually fell off the wagon and they're no longer communicating because of personal differences. I have it. I know some of y'all out there have them, and it's you have a friend that you haven't talked to in so long because maybe they slept with your girlfriend or boyfriend. Things fell off. I had several friends who I've lost due to past relationships. And it made me realize that if our friendship is, oh, if you cherish, you know, materialistic things over our friendship, because no man should come between a woman, and no woman should come between no man when it comes to friendships, or you don't let money or anything come to it. So it's like, if you got to go as far as creating violence to say I'm gonna kill you because you stole my boyfriend, or I'm gonna kill you because you stole my girlfriend, I'm gonna kill you because you cheated on me, or if you got to go that far to get revenge on somebody and create violence, then it should never be, because not only that, you're putting somebody else's life at risk, and then you're putting yourself in the mind setting, under the wrong mind setting, because now you're going to be created as a criminal. Just like the George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin, what happened years ago. What went through the mind of George Zimmerman, and then they felt like it was really, oh, he was the neighborhood watch and stuff like that. But if you look at the neighborhood watch people are not supposed to be policemen. They're not supposed to. You're supposed to see somebody doing something, call the police and say, hey, I see somebody trying to break into somebody's house. You're not supposed to put matters in your own hand, and that's what happened to him. And with the stand your ground rule, he got off and all that stuff. And but it looked as if, why do these people do these things, knowing that the outcome is not going to be good? Just like the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School incident. If you don't think before you act, just like the man on the subway that happened a couple of days ago, what made you want to kill these people on the subway? Is it somebody on the subway that you didn't like? First of all, how you get on, your mind had to be setting on that day to do something out of the ordinary, because you just can't get up and say, oh, I don't like you, but I'm going to kill everybody. You had that mind setting, so something clicked in your mind that you had a motive to do that. I mean, I understand the fact that they cannot search people, because now down here in South Florida and in Miami, they're increasing security on public transportation, like on trains and stuff like that. Not on buses, because security don't ride buses. There's men-in-one bus routes and stuff. So they're not going to have security ride the buses. They just have cameras. But they're increasing security on trains and stuff in public transportation now because of what happened in New York. And, because every mass transit system that has a train or people mover or anything, it has to be increased with security, because you never know what happened. Down here in Miami, which I think it was either last year or the year before last, I don't remember. We have an elevator people mover, which we call people mover, what they call people mover, but it's called the Metro Mover system. And it's a people mover elevated system that runs around the downtown areas and adjacent areas. There was 2 incidents where a woman was attacked by a man, and an elderly Hispanic man was attacked by a man. All because they were just riding the train and they was by themselves, and then somebody just came over and attacked them. It was 2 different cases with 2 different people. And I'm thinking, like, why do you do these things? And the outcome of it is you're going to get jail time, and stuff like that. Is there something clicking in your mind? That's why I say, people get away with some stuff. And there are certain cases, like with the New York case. I told when I seen it and they were showing it, and then they had the whole perimeter blocked off, and they had schools on lock that was near the areas to say, okay, we're looking for them. I say, by the time y'all reach that man could be in Acapulco or somewhere, or a man could be down in California somewhere. That man could be in another state. Criminals don't stay in the same area. I mean, eventually they caught the man because I've seen on the camera it was I've seen on media that was African American male. But my thing with that is, a lot of these cases I say, y'all not gonna catch these people. The only way there's three reasons why you're gonna catch these people. Number one, they're hiding somewhere in the area and can't get far. Number two, they're leaving evidence around and the evidence point towards them. Or number three, you have witnesses. That's the only way you're gonna catch these people. But now, if you don't have those three, because back when I was staying in another location down here in South Florida, there was a incident where a drug dealer had killed some people and fled the scene, and the drug dealer had fled to another state, and I was like, wow, and I don't know if they either caught the drug dealer or not and stuff like that. But a lot of these people, they flee scenes because they know they are a sick getaway. There are people that have mind settings. Like, there are people that plan stuff to the point where I'm going to plan it and it's going to happen and this is how it's going to go down. So the aftermath, now you can't rob a bank and think you could get away with it. You could rob somebody and get away with it, because when I got robbed, it was, the cops went down to like 5 blocks. They went out. The street that I live on, the street goes all the way down to like 30 blocks. Plus blocks. It goes down, But they only went down like 5 or 6 blocks, or streets. They went down to the next major street. And then they turned around and came back and said, oh, the kids are not. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, you think these idiots are going to be sitting on the side of a curb with a bag in their hand just counting money? They know after they rob somebody, the police is going to be looking for them, so they're going to get missing. And then I kept getting these strange calls. Like, I got a call from a 561 number, which is the Palm Beach area code. And then I got calls from, different, asking me the same thing. What happened? What happened? And I'm sitting up here like, I keep telling y'all the same thing that happened. And I can't really describe the people because all I saw was, the gun in their hand. So to me, it's like, these people do these things because they feel it's the easiest way to get out of it. Like, now, a lot of people are doing crimes because of COVID. A lot of people are stealing out of grocery stores. A lot of people are stealing cars and doing all these extra stuff, stealing packages off of doors. When Amazon or FedEx or anybody, delivers packages, they go right after people's doors and steal them because it's the easiest crime to do. And then some of these packages contain jewelry that you can pawn or wear or keep, or groceries you can eat and stuff like that, because nowadays people are doing delivery groceries due to COVID that are going inside. But and it makes you think, what makes you do stuff like this? And I always say, like I said earlier, if you can steal one candy, you can steal another. Meaning, if you can, steal somebody's packages off their porch, you can steal another. I was just watching the news, yesterday, and they was talking about how people are using U-Haul trucks. Now they rent U-Haul trucks and they use them to rob people and steal stuff. And I'm like, that's most clever. That's the most cleverest thing to do, because when I see U-Haul trucks pull up into people's houses and stuff, I always think either somebody's moving out or somebody's moving in. I would have never thought that people can actually use U-Haul trucks to steal, because it's a cover-up. Because you're going to be thinking, oh, somebody's moving in, somebody's moving out. You're not thinking, oh, somebody's robbing the joint. So now there's a thing that there's people that are using U-Haul trucks to steal stuff. Crime in America will never go away. And each year, crime gets smarter and smarter. Now there's ways of, you can hack into people's, you can hack into people's accounts and stuff like that. Not even, it was an incident back in early 2020, and I was just returning to work. I was at work, and somebody kept calling me, kept calling me, kept calling me, kept calling me. The number wasn't the wasn't the number I knew. It was a different area code. I don't remember if it was a different country or a different state. I don't remember. They kept calling me. They kept calling me. They kept calling me. Normally, after one call, you say, "Oh, I don't know this number. I don't answer." Because normally, if it's a number I don't know, I don't pick up like most people. And they kept calling me. They kept calling me. They kept calling me. So I said, "Okay, it must be something urgent." I picked up, and then they hung up the phone. And I was wondering what happened. Next thing I knew, they got a hold of my information and tried to wire $400 to from California to a country, and the bank alerted me, and then eventually I got my money back, and I was like, wow, they actually got my information just by me picking up the phone. So that made me realize that technology and the art of crime has changed. You can go into somebody's account, or you could go to somebody's bank, or you could go into somebody's information and get anything out of them with just the click of a button or just a phone call, you know. Because now these days you can get personal information. This is why I don't put my personal information like my telephone, like how Facebook have. You can add your telephone number to your profile and stuff. I don't do that. I did it once before, but I don't do that because I don't want everybody having my number, because easily they can get your number, going there and say, "Oh, you got this amount and this amount. Oh, let me get the money," and they can hack into your information. Now, yes, there is where you can get personal information off the computer about somebody, with their address and their date of birth and stuff like that. But as far as other things, it's hard to get, and you got to take your online. Just like they say, when you go to these coffee shops and these internet cafes, and you're on Wi-Fi, there could be somebody there that could be hacking into your personal information. So, crime has changed over the years, where you don't have to get up and rob somebody by gunpoint to get money out of them, or get that. You can computerize, or go into cyber computers, or go into cyberspace or whatever, and get these criminals. But the thing about it is, I always wonder, why do people do this stuff? Why do people, you know, do things like this? It makes you think that, you know, what's the motive behind it? Just like with the New York shooting. What was the motive behind that person? I know eventually they're going to do some psychological tests, and they're going to do something, because a lot of these people who just go on killing sprees for no reason, just like, I don't know if y'all remember back when the guy went into a church and shot 9 people in a church. Dude, in a church, in a place of worship, and you go killing people? Just like the guy who went inside the movie theater and they was playing a Batman movie and shot up the movie theater. What is your motive behind that? What makes you do stuff like that, that will get you to get up and say, "I'm going to shoot. I'm going to shoot. I'm going to kill people"? What is behind that? I want to know, what do y'all think about it? What do y'all think about crime in America? White collar crime, blue collar crime, misdemeanors, felonies, do you think some of the punishments that these people get for these crimes are you know are they the punishments, are they, what I'm saying, do you accept it or you don't accept it? Just like the George Floyd crime, I honestly believe the men should have got more than whatever, enough crime. Because after the crime, one of the officers, they had a video where they saw him, I think, in a Walmart walking. I'm like, are you seriously? And then they try to make it seem like it wasn't nothing. But you got to, and then with these crimes, I'm going to do another episode about, a future episode about, do the police really, help? Like policemen and stuff. What good is they for? But that's going to be on another episode. Good topic though. But crime, what is behind the motive of these people that does these things? Because you got to know that, okay, I'm going to kill this man because he slept with my woman. Or I'm going to kill this woman because she slept with my man, and vice versa. But why would you kill your own kids? If you don't want kids, give them up for adoption. If you want to kill this person because they did something wrong to you, leave them. Distance yourself. I've lost a lot of friends, you know, over the years through bad differences, through bad friendships, through relationships. I've lost a lot of friends. But that doesn't make me want to go kill them or get revenge on them. That just lets me know I'm better than you. Let me distance myself from you because I can do harm if I further go in this thing. And so a lot of these people don't realize, oh, I'm gonna kill you because you did this, or I'm gonna kill you. No, because you're feeding into the mentality of that. And I want to know, what do y'all think about crime in America and these past things? I want you to talk about the New York crime, the New York shooting, you know, a lot of these stuff. And do you think that, here's my questions. Do you think that crime has gotten smarter since the 90s and the 80s and the early 2000s? Do you think crime has gotten smarter? Because my answer to that is yes. Like I told you, now people are using U-Haul trucks, and I seen a news investigation where the people are using U-Haul trucks now to rob people. People are using computers to hack into other people's computers and cell phones to get into their systems. I told you what happened to me back in early 2021 when somebody, you know, tried to call me and then hacked into them and got my information and tried to send money, you know, and, you know, it was like, wow, you got it just by me answering the phone. There are many ways of getting into somebody's, hacking into things, and there's, you know, white collar crime, blue collar crimes. There's all these type of crimes, and people are getting smart. And then people are wondering why they doing it, why they doing it, because you don't know what goes into these minds of these criminals. And now that these criminals can do what they want to do, it makes you think, what is the purpose behind it? What is the theory behind these crimes? What makes you tick Marjorie Stoneman Douglas? What made this guy want to go on a killing spree and kill 17 people? The New York shooting. What make this guy want to get on the train, put a gas bomb on the train, and then, you know, start killing people? When I saw the video and they were showing where there was blood on the ground, and then there was blood on the train ground, or inside the train cars on the floor, and then you saw people on the ground outside the station with blood. It just made me like, oh my God. And I use public transportation all the time. And I'm going to give another example. Recently in Broward County, if you've been watching the news, there was a shooting on a public transportation bus. And the guy killed 2 people on the bus. The driver had to drive all the way and weave in and out of traffic and drive to the police station. Now, what motive that this guy had is, I don't know what the motive was, and I didn't follow up on it. But I'm like, I take public transportation all the time. You know, the city encourages you to take public transportation. But then again, how can you be safe on public transportation when you have idiots that get on these buses and trains and, you know what I'm saying, mass transit vehicles, and they go doing what they do? Now, eventually they probably did a psychological test on the man, because everybody that goes on a killing spree, they do a psychological test, you know. And I was like, that might be one of the bus routes I take. You know, they didn't say what bus number it was or whatever, but I'm like, and now you have to be concerned with, okay, let me go and do this and do this and do this. And, you know, now people are saying, oh, the best way to travel now is Lyft and Uber. But that's not true, because now I'm seeing cases where Lyft and Uber, people are getting robbed and killed and shot at in Lyft and Uber. You know, there are people out there that are robbing Lyft drivers, and then the Lyft drivers sometimes are raping their clients and stuff. So it's like, wow, like, is it safe anymore to step outside your house? That's what I want to know. Do you think it's safer now? My first question is, do you think crime has got more easier to do, because of technology? Do you think that it is safe to go outside your door, regardless of where you're going, whether you're just going next door, whether you're just going down the street, or whether you're going across the county? Do you think it is safe to take public transportation now that all this mass shootings and killings and stuff? You know, what do you think about it? Email me roundtable00@yahoo.com. Don't forget to, you can also comment at the bottom of this page. Click subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to check out our previous episodes, and don't forget to check us out on our future episodes. I want to know what your answer and how you feel about this episode. If you have a topic that you also would like to discuss, you can also email me, or you can also comment at the bottom of this page. I'm your host, C Money. This is another episode of the Roundtable Talk. Stay blessed, stay safe, and I will see you in the next episode, and have a good day.